Can't you save money? Regret not saving yet? Are you stressed about your finances? Your goals and your dreams remain unmet? Or maybe worse, are you overspending and at the end of the month, you're running out of cash? The misconception is that most people believe these money problems are beyond their control. That's why they're like, it's the government's fault. The economy is a mess. Wages are too low. I didn't have rich parents. And that's exactly because of this mindset, nearly 66% of people in the US don't have control over their money. But the truth is, you can easily, with a simple financial plan, get out of this vicious cycle and take control of your money. Today, we'll see how you can, with 3 simple steps, get out of the situation and join the 34%. But before we dive in, I'm Katie. I'm a qualified accountant with 7 years of experience, and I'm here to help you with your finances. Have you ever looked back and wished you'd saved more money? This is a feeling you and I and so many people around us can relate to. Studies show 80% of people regret not saving enough when they had the chance to. But why does this happen? It isn't because we don't care about the future, it's because of something called the present bias. It's that tendency that we have to focus on what is right in front of us, enjoying a night out or buying something new just because simply we want it now. And it's so easy to push the future to the back of our minds. We look back and realize we've been stuck in a cycle, working, earning, and spending without making any progress towards our dreams and goals, like owning a home or traveling the world or comfortably retiring. There's a quote by Tennessee Williams: "You can be young without money, but you can't be old without it." Now, keeping this in mind that we're so wired to focus on what feels good now, to make saving easy, instead of waiting to see what's left over at the end of the month, which often isn't much, you take a portion of your income as soon as you receive it and set it aside for saving. This is what's called pay yourself first. Now the question is, how much should you save? You should save 20% of your income. Now you might say, but Katie, saving 20% of my income sounds excellent in theory, but I'm relying on every dollar of my paycheck. This is a challenge many face. Let me ask you this. If life throws an emergency your way, don't we all somehow gather that extra money? Right now, if I told you set aside $500 for saving starting next month, you might say, it's impossible. I have a lot to cover. But if they told you starting next month, you'd be earning $500 less, well, of course, you'd be angry at first, but you'd find a way to make it work. When there's no other option, you adjust and make that paycheck stretch. And actually, you don't have to think twice about saving. That's where automation comes in. By setting up automatic transfer, saving happens without you having to think about it. You won't even notice the money disappearing from your checking account. So you won't get tempted to spend that money. Out of sight, out of mind. All right, now, don't just leave your money sitting in your saving account. To make money on your money, you must consider investing. I understand when you invest, you have to pay taxes. When you get your paycheck, income tax gets taken out before you even see it. When you own a property, you have to pay property taxes every year. And when you invest and make a profit, capital gains tax is waiting for its share. Taxes are everywhere. There's no escaping most of them. But there's one area where you can legally avoid taxes on your investment. If you're in the UK, the Stocks and Shares ISA is a fantastic option. And in the US, the equivalent is a Roth IRA. Both of these accounts let you to invest without stressing about taxes, which is a game changer for building wealth. Here's the simple strategy. You can take that 20% money and put it into an index fund like S&P 500. Historically, these funds have delivered an average return of 8 to 10% per year, and that's completely tax-free. Now imagine this, you set aside $500 a month and invest it consistently with an 8% annual return, not 10% or more, just 8%. In 35 years, you'd have over $1 million and all tax-free. That's the power of compound interest working its magic over time. If you're curious, you can use an online compound interest calculator to crunch the numbers for yourself. It's pretty amazing to see how it adds up. Now let's compare this. If you were simply saving that $500 a month without investing it, you'd end up with around $210,000 after 35 years. That's the difference investing can make. Now, the second thing you want to do is to figure out the absolute essentials you need to survive each month, like housing, your rent or mortgage, utilities, transportation, and groceries. And I'm talking about just the essentials for food. No fancy dining out, not DoorDash or Uber Eats or Starbucks, just your regular meals. These are non-negotiable expenses, and ideally, they should total around 50% of your income. Take a look at this table. For each category of expenses, we'll set specific percentage to maintain balance. Housing usually takes up the biggest share. It's one of our primary needs, right? So we'll allocate 25% of our income to housing, which includes rent or mortgage payments and bills. The budget we're considering for food is 10%. For transportation, it's 8%, which covers gas, car payments, or public transport. Health is 7%, including health insurance, supplements, and medicines. Be flexible with these percentages and feel free to adjust them based on your needs and priorities. For example, if your housing cost is higher than this, you can cut back on other areas like transportation or entertainment, which I'll talk about in a sec. Always remember to review your budget every month and make any necessary adjustments to stay on track financially. Now, if your baseline costs exceed that 50%, what should you do? Take a closer look at where you can trim unnecessary spending. Review your expenses and see if there's easy swaps you can make to lower your costs for the next month to hit that 50% goal. Grab a piece of paper and start writing down all little and unnecessary expenses from the previous month that you spend on every day. Don't you see any of the following items? For takeaway coffee, $4. Snacks, $2. Overpriced transport, $5. Dining out, $9. Water bottle, $1. Unwanted subscription, $1. When we add these up, we reach the surprising amount of $22 per day, which totals around $8,000 a year. By removing these expenses, you can take control and own that $8,000. By capping your baseline expenses under 50%, you're building a solid financial foundation. And remember, that 50% is a goal. It's a guideline that you have to aim for. This step is all about having fun and enjoying your money. That's where the 30% of your income comes in. It's all about spending guilt-free on the things that make your life sweeter. There's a popular narrative out there, live your life to the fullest. And it often gets twisted into thinking spending a lot of money on short-term pleasures. And I get it. It's so easy to feel torn between two opposing ideas, saving for the future and living in the moment. Because hey, we're young and we only live once, right? But here's the thing, financial freedom is the ultimate joy you can bring to yourself. It's not about denying yourself everything now, but rather understanding that the real happiness and freedom comes from having control over your money and not being bound by the paycheck to paycheck cycle. With that 30% of your income set aside, you've got room for so many things, like dining out at your favorite restaurant, or taking a weekend trip, or taking care of yourself and your skin, or gym membership. It all needs to stay within that 30% of your income. If you're not on track, you can make small adjustments and cut back on your spending. Now, if you decide to spend less of that 30% of your income, which is excellent, you can save what you don't use or roll it over the next month and treat yourself to something bigger. The 30% fun fund is your permission slip to enjoy life without guilt. Being intentional about your spending allows you to avoid impulsive purchases while still enjoying the things you love. You are in control of your spending, not the other way around.